tell us about a pivotal moment in your career that led to where you are today?
Yeah.
What did you learn from that experience?
Oh man, that's a great question. Pivotal, and I've had a lot of those, and I want to call it, and this could be a thing one day, steps of faith.
Okay.
I've had many moments where I was in a situation. I'll start at, the church. I was in church. I grew up in church. I was church. And then we had to take a moment to leave our home church and then move from the city that we were born in. Like my wife and I, we were born in Orlando, and we just knew it was something bigger for us. So we moved to Nashville, Tennessee. We didn't have nothing. Yeah.
Why Nashville instead of New York or L.A.?
Great question. I basically just had friends here that were trying to pull us here.
You had a connection.
I had a connection. One of my best friends in the world, him and his family moved here. And I was like, I like that city because we had visited a few times. So we came here. We really didn't have any, major connections. We kind of did, but it wasn't to the point to where we should move there because of a major connection. I actually moved here at I was done with music actually. I had quit music.
Wow.
I told my wife, I said, let's just get out of Orlando. I want to go to Nashville. Let's get a job and let's just start a new life.
New start, yeah.
New start. Little did I know, God sent a investor that had been listening to my music online. And he said, he reached out to us and he was like, I want to finance your next album.
Wow.
And I said, what? I didn't believe him. So he said, I want to finance your next album. And then I was like, all right, prove it. I didn't believe him. And he said, well, what do you need? I said, well, we're broke right now. We need to move out of Orlando. If you get us out of Orlando, I'll record an album. Overnighted us a check to move to Nashville, Tennessee.
Look at the grace of God.
Yeah. He overnighted us a check. We moved, unloaded all of our gear, and my buddy that was living here had a full-out studio. His basement was a full-out, it was dope. And went there, recorded the album, and we've been here ever since.
Man, I always say that when God gets ready to add a comma to your life.
Yes.
When God gets ready to take you to another level, what he'll do is he'll create an encounter.
That's it.
With someone that's already a resident of that level.
Yes.
And if they're a resident of that level, they pretty much have already gone through what you're currently going through.
Yes.
So they can advise you because they're not intimidated by anything that you're going through.
That's right.
However, when the enemy decides to take you to another level, which usually is down or back, he creates an encounter with somebody that you ain't got no business being in fellowship with. There's always a connection factor.
Always.
That gives you the comma, whether that comma is going to something backwards or whether that comma is going to the next level.
I tell you what, and that's so good because that story, that comma for me, I had an opportunity to go back. And I was going to let all of this go. That wouldn't have been a 24 karat. That wouldn't have been none of that if I would have went the other way. And so I also believe too that a level of frustration happens when you don't answer the call.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Because we were experiencing frustration. We were experiencing, and it was God. God says, I'm trying to answer your prayer here. You say you want to go to the next level. This is your opportunity.
In other words, I'm not going to try to preach because this is a secular podcast.